What do I do with my hands?
Yeah.
I never know. I appreciate you wanting to do some on-camera stuff because I know, well, you probably do so much you're used to it, but some coaches are like, no.
Oh, yeah, you do it so much of it that you're just like, this is just another day. Even though this is different. This is the sick podcast, and I'm in.
Turn up your volume. Because you're about to listen to The Sick Podcast. Draft Digest. The sickest NFL draft and scouting podcast. It's gonna be sick.
And welcome into a special edition of the Sick Podcast Draft Digest. John Vogel, Emily Van Buskirk, and special guest with us today, Idaho's Boise State's head coach, Spencer Danielson. And Coach Danielson, very happy to have you on. I thought we were going to skip the cold intro. We do a cold intro like that. And I mean, you did like the most natural cold intro ever. Like that was freaking amazing.
Well, I'm just fired up to be on the Sick Podcast, man. Let's roll.
I have two things to say about that. I bet you never thought you'd be on a podcast that's this sick, A. And B, do you get any PTSD from that draft bell, having heard it so much when you were there in Green Bay?
Yeah, it definitely brings me right back to that moment. And no, I never thought I'd ever be on the Sick Podcast, and I'm so blessed. Let's roll.
John, you want to go first, or you want me to fire it?
Yeah, Coach. So I've been watching you from afar, and really appreciating the way that you've approached team building out there in Boise State. And I've talked about this before, that there's a lot of different ways that you get a team to buy in during the season. You know, you have to have that message. Everybody has to get on the same page. And the thing that kind of stuck out about your program, I can't think of a coach that's done it in college football at that level in modern history. I can point to several in the 70s, 80s, 90s. I can't think of here in the last 15, 20 years have used it. But you use Christianity as sort of the blend for the team. You guys had massive success. I think they said you baptized half the team last year. Like you really used Christianity to kind of build the team. So, and bring everybody into the same fold to buy in and play the unit. So my question was, what were you able to use about Christianity? Like what things were you able to draw from it to get everybody on the same page for the football side of things?
Yeah, great question. I mean, for me, I'm a firm believer that the reason I'm the head coach at Boise State is because Jesus put me here to develop people and have an impact. Like, I'm open about that. That's what it is. Some people don't like that I say that. Like, this is just what it is. Like, I tell people, I'm not that cool. If I'm around you, you're gonna be very underwhelmed. You know what I mean? Like, it's just I know that like God has put me here to have an impact and change people's lives, because the rings fade, the championship banners go. Like, I've seen that over the years. The profession we're in is just it's every year's a new year, and so everything for me is having an impact. And so whenever I had an opportunity, either with our team, with the media, with anyone, like, that's why I thank Jesus. Not because it's a show. I am not perfect. I make more mistakes than anybody, but my heart is to have an impact, and I want to show people Jesus, because I know for me, that's my foundation. The three things I live my life on is love Jesus, work hard, treat people right. And I tell our team that. I'm also very open that, it's Boise State University. There's staff members, players on our team that we've got Christians, LDS, Muslim, want nothing to do with religion, maybe at this point in their life. All are welcomed and loved. I tell people, this is me. If you're going through hard things, I'm going to tell you how I go through them with Jesus. Like, I want everyone to have a foundation that's not football, because if with 10 guys in our team, if you ask them, what do you want to do after football? Some of them don't even know, because it's college football, it's the NFL. Like, that's and you want that, but football is going to be over for everybody at some point. I want all of them to have a foundation that's not that. And for me, it's my relationship with Jesus, and it's a relationship. It's not an arrival point. And people ask me, you're a church guy. I'm like, I'm not a church guy. I'm a Jesus guy. And I'm about relationship, because that's what's changed my life. And so with our team, I know when I was the interim head coach and became the head coach here, I really feel like God's called me here to have an impact. And I've just been very open about it. And seeing our team start to really grow their faith individually in their own way. Like Ahmed Hassanein, his life was changed through Jesus Christ. It wasn't me preaching at him. It wasn't, oh, look at this great book. Or like, he just randomly one day at dinner when he was a junior said, Coach, I want to know about Jesus. And he was a Muslim. And it was just very organic, very just, well, you know, Ahmed, this is who I believe Jesus is. These are, you know, just walk this path because his heart wanted it. And it wasn't because of what I told him. It was, he watched me. He watched the players on the team that maybe were open about their relationship. Because I think, you know, that's what it is. It's all about the light. And I'm a firm believer. Like, I always want the light inside of me to shine brighter than the light that is on me. Right. That's a big prayer of mine. Like, make sure the light inside of me always shines brighter than the light that's on me. And seeing God use it amongst our team was so amazing to be a part of last year. And that's why I give Jesus all the glory. I mean, it's not some speech. It's not some curriculum. Like, it's the Lord working through me and our coaches and our players to have a huge impact and change these players' lives. And through it, create a very close connected team. Because I believe the closer you are, the more connected you are. Like, love's the core value of our football program. We define that as action and sacrifice. And you saw that with our team. And now 2025, we got to do it all over again. Like I tell our team, you can't start halfway up the mountain, right? Greatness never goes on. I wish it did, you know, but it never does. And so what our team was able to do last year, that's the past. No different in my relationship with Jesus. Every day I got to build that, my time with the Lord, my prayer time, our team. Because once again, we have a whole new team right now. Like, how are we going to be as a team? How are they going to grow their faith? Who wants to take a step towards that? Who doesn't? Like I said, all are welcome and loved. No different in recruiting. I'm very open recruiting about who I am, my faith. And I tell parents, because some parents like, Coach, we've never really, you know, we're not into religion. I'm like, cool. I'm not either. I'm into Jesus. and I tell them, like, and when my head hits the pillow, because I love Jesus, I think about your son. I don't think about jersey number 10. I think about your son because of my relationship with Jesus. That's why I believe your son should come here and grow and thrive to be the best version of himself. So, long-winded answer to your question, but it's everything to me. I mean, it's everything. I have a prayer group that I meet with in my office right here, Wednesdays at 6 a.m. every week. Game week, fall camp, out of season, and we pray for our players. We pray for them to achieve everything God wants for them in life. Not for other, like, we pray for them. We pray for God's will to be done here, for us to push the kingdom forward, because that's what I feel called here to do.
Fantastic. Fantastic.
I told you, John.
Well, no. I thought, you know, I figured that love would probably be the core value, because I think one of the things that's interesting about football is I think that it's one of the things that's helping our society in general, at least from the high school level, and then with coaches like yourself, that football is such a team sport, and you have to be putting your teammates first. You know, if you're playing guard and you've got to block this defensive tackle, but that nose is going to loop around, you might have to pick him up, right? That might not be your assignment on the play, but it's going to make the team better. And so you're going to put your body on the line. That's love for your quarterback back there, right? So I think the football's, and then with all the discipline and everything else that it requires to go out there and practice every day, when it's hot, when it's cold, it doesn't matter. All that stuff applies to life. And I think football is one of the few things that kind of helps hold our society together.
No, agreed. And I think it's to your point, it's such a great vehicle to teach people about life. And I tell our coaches, as long as we make sure we do it the right way too, right? Like, football should teach you the things you're talking about, as long as you focus on those, right? Like, if you focus on disciplines of team, like, because I believe culture is what you allow, right? I can say this is our culture, but no, our culture is what we allow. If I say we're a team that competes, but you come to our practice and guys are walking around on the field, like, I'm lying to you, right? No different in using football as a vehicle to teach you about life, because it should. I mean, I know for me, I played small school football at Azusa Pacific that no one's ever heard of, but it changed my life because the coaches that were there, the people around, used it as a vehicle to do that.
I think, first of all, people have heard of Azusa Pacific, okay? I live in California.
Good, let's go.
Yes.
Go Cougs, come on.
One of the things I wanted to ask you was actually just about that, because you've coached at two places, and that, you know, the success you've had, that's pretty unusual. You coached at your alma mater that you went to, and then you came to Boise State, and that was that's where you've been, and that's where you've created what you have. And what do you think the merit is to starting like that in small ball? I guess I know people don't love that term, but when you coach in programs that don't have as much and then go to bigger programs, do you appreciate it more? Do you think that kind of coaching path for you has been beneficial to the team that you now have?
Yeah. Emily, I think everybody's path's different. I get asked a lot in the coaching realms of, talking with either younger coaches about, what's the best next move and some of those things, because it's hard. I mean, you see everybody's journey is different. I know for me, just speaking to me personally, being able to start at Azusa Pacific, a Division II school, and really cut my teeth, not only as a player, and just fall in love with. I mean, it's 12-hour bus rides to games. You're flying Southwest through the airport, right? And that's what it is. It wasn't like, whoa, look at these. And in that time, there wasn't a lot of social media, so there wasn't a lot of comparison. I never once felt like, oh, I wish we had what blank school had. I was just thankful to be a part of a team, thankful to be on a group of guys and play a game and get school paid for. Some of these things are just so blessed. And then no different stepping into. I mean, I got done playing in December, and I started coaching in January, right? So it was like, here's a couple $100 and a Little Caesars gift card. You know what I mean? So it's like, good luck. But that's small school football, and the coaches are around. Victor Santa Cruz is the head coach. I mean, played for him, coached for him, changed my life. And you're able to go on the road recruiting, and you got to do. I mean, I was a linebackers coach, recruiting coordinator. I'm helping set up hotel rooms. I'm making sure the buses are arriving. I'm making
you're lining the fields. You're carrying bags.
You got to do a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And so I remember when I first came to Boise State, I've told the story that we were playing our first game, and I remember freaking out, like, where's my game day attire? And our equipment manager's like, no, I bring that for you, and it'll be in your locker for the game. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Like, because you don't. I'm not used to that, so I was just so grateful. I mean, and you have to do a lot of different jobs. And not saying that you can't, play Division I football and play in the NFL and be a really good coach. There's tons of those. Yeah. I just know for me, I am so grateful for the journey that the Lord's put me through, because I learned so much and failed so many times, and had a lot of people around me that I could learn from those failures. And they weren't on national television either. And so I could learn and grow from them and have a lot of different jobs that help me grow every single day.
That's awesome. One of my favorite things is guys with small ball roots, because I mean, Gus Malzahn once told me a story how he like drove the bus and, had to share pizza with the quarterback. And I just think that journey, you're right. Every journey is valuable, but that journey is so interesting. I feel like small ball guys look out for each other. So they hire each other. They kind of look for that kind of coach coming up. So I think that's kind of neat when you look at coaching stuff like that.
Well, and I think it's really interesting in this profession, not to go on a tangent, but the AFCA convention is awesome. I remember going there when I was at Azusa Pacific, but the reality of it is a lot of people would look down at my polo and see AP and not see that it's, some super well-known school, and kind of just keep walking and didn't really want to give me the time of day. And that's fine. The next, and then I go to Boise State as a graduate assistant, and all of a sudden now there's value because of my polo. I was not a better football coach the next year. I was not, but it's just those things were really, I think, good for me as a young coach, because now even for me, I care about who you are as a person and the impact you're going to have on players. That's what I look at in regards to staff. It ain't about what school he's been at or these things. Obviously, you look at all of them, but I know there's some coaches I've been around that are high school coaches that could coach me under the table tonight. And it's just the reality, and I think living in that space as a lifelong learner is a huge goal for me.
I love that. Let's switch gears and talk about Ashton a little bit. I know you're never going to hear the end of Ashton Jeanty, because the legend that he left, it was just so
right.
He was huge. I mean, and you talk about life after football. He's a young man who left a scholarship behind. He left more than just the game to the community, to the school. And you and your athletic director, Jeremiah Dickey, were both at the draft with him. Was that the first time you had attended a draft?
It was, yes. The first time I ever attended a draft. Didn't really know what to expect. Obviously I've grown up watching the draft every single year. Grew up a Chargers fan until they left San Diego to move to LA. Now I don't cheer for them anymore. Except now I Scott Matlock alums on their team, so I'm actually become a big Charger fan. But you grow up watching the draft, and so even playing, the Sick podcast, coming in with the sound, like it's something I've known my entire life. And so being there, being with Ashton, being with his family, especially, and I can be here all day talking about he's a better person than he is even a football player. And I think he's the best football player in college football last year. but he's an even better person. I mean, a kid that he just has such a great heart, cares about people, has a heart for the Lord, has a heart for others, and one of the hardest workers I've ever been around. He's a kid that'll get 34 carries for 200 yards on Saturday, and then no one's going to outwork him in Tuesday's practice. You know what I mean? That's uncommon. And that's why he is, and we talk about being built different. Ashton Jeanty's built different. And so being a part of that moment with him in the green room with his, mom, dad, family, seeing his name get called, and it was just surreal. I mean, and immediately when I looked at his mom and dad and they started crying, that's when I started crying. Because just seeing these parents, I mean, he comes from great parents who just are so locked in. Even when we recruited him coming out of high school, who they were his entire time at Boise State. It's just awesome.
I didn't know John was going to interject there. But one of the things that we talked about at the draft, well, two of the things, Ashton was wearing Crocs. And I want to know, follow up, if you have now incorporated Crocs into your attire yet.
I'm not gonna lie. When I saw him roll out with Crocs, I said, "What is going on?"
If anybody could make Crocs look cool, it was
right.
Ashton Jeanty.
That's right. And then I found out what he was making for wearing them. I said, "You keep wearing those Crocs, brother. How's that sound?" Yeah.
Well, we need to get you a pair. And then my other question is, you and I talked about his stance. I mean, that got such national attention for the way Ashton Jeanty stands in the backfield. And I chatted with him about it, and he's like, "I convinced Coach, like, this is the way, it's okay if it's different. This is how I got to do it." And you said he won you over. You were on board. But then, now he's with the Raiders, and we hear a little bit that Chip Kelly's like, "No, we're going to go back to the original way. And then maybe down the road he'll get there." What were you surprised to hear that?
I just think it's funny how much attention it got. Yeah. I mean, Michael Myers and the Ashton Jeanty picture back to back, I mean, I think was the top meme in the world for a couple days. And it just, I mean, it cracks me up. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I didn't even notice his stance for a little bit until people started noticing it. To me, as a football coach, I'm all about production. Like, if you can get the job done, then I'm not going to overcoach you. And obviously, not only just that year, but for his entire time at Boise State, he was able to get the job done. Always trying to find ways for guys to be better, but it worked for him, and we were all for it. Obviously, if it's different in the NFL, that's home now for him, and he's got to listen up.
I feel like he won you over, though, so he could definitely win Chip Kelly over.
Yes. I mean, Ashton Jeanty's got a smile that'll light up a room, so I promise you he'll wear on Chip Kelly in a good way.
I can't wait to watch that. So we were just at Media Days in Las Vegas, which was so fun. And this time all your players were able to be in the building, which was great.
Correct.
As opposed to last year. But you brought two really great guys with you. I was able to chat with both of them. And I wanted to kind of ask your but your thoughts on Jayden Virgin-Morgan. I think they call him JR, right? That's like
JV.
I'm sorry, JV.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
JV. And so we got to chat with him a little bit, kind of a quieter guy, not like Kage Casey was there, and he's very boisterous and very good with media and stuff, but JV's a little quieter. But I talked to him about playing, with Ahmed, which was so funny because you've even told me about Ahmed just being the most violent person ever, like on the field. Yeah. And JV said that he used to be scared because Ahmed would scream. And he would be so scared of this. And he was like, "I'm so glad Ahmed was on my side," but he's now going to be stepping out into this light, and we're going to see what his ceiling is. So I just wanted you to talk a little bit about him. Yeah,
Jayden Virgin-Morgan. I mean, very similar to some of the guys we've been talking about. I mean, he's a phenomenal young man. I mean, seeing his growth he's a San Diego kid, played defense, played offense. We saw him at a camp going into his senior year, and he killed it. It was a two-part camp, kind of early afternoon and evening. And JV competed in both of them just so we can get even two looks at him and, compete his tail off. I mean, it was really, really good in person. And just seeing him come here, redshirted, grew, developed, got stronger, got more explosive. I mean, just seeing his rise. I mean, I tell people this. I mean, he had great production last year as a redshirt sophomore. But I asked guys to watch the plays that he even didn't make. I mean, his relentless effort. I mean, he affected every single play. I mean, you got to know where 5 is at all times, even with Ahmed on the field. I mean, I think that tandem and our edge coach, Jabril Frazier, does a phenomenal job with our players. And, they have an edge about everything they do. And so seeing his growth, man, I really do believe JV is going to be one of the best edge players in the country, and he's earned it. it ain't some. I mean, our guys play the run. Like I see. I mean, I'm not knocking it, but like our guys play the run. They play 8 techniques. They play the C gap. I mean, they have to do a ton for our defense, and they earn the right to rush the passer. We don't want line our guys up super wide and say good luck. Like they got to earn the right. So the production he's gotten has come through also playing the run extremely well. And he's earned it. I mean, and seeing what he's been able to do this offseason, seeing the leadership he's bringing to our defense and our team, I think he's going to be one of the better edge players we ever had here. And he's earned every bit of that from looking to the older guys over his time. Ahmed Hassanein, seeing how he trained, seeing how he practiced. And now JV's doing the same and trying to even take that to the next level, right? That's the goal of a program, is trying to take it to where it's been and then even leave it better than you found it. Now Ahmed set some standards in the edge room when JV was with him. Now it's JV's job to take it even farther.
He's going to have to scream louder, I guess.
Yeah, correct. That's not going to be Jay. Jay's not going to give you a howl before each play.
That was the first time I'd heard that story. And obviously, I spent a lot of time with Ahmed and his family last year to kind of tell his story. I'd never heard that where he would just randomly just scream.
Oh, that's crazy. I promise you, if you go to Detroit's practice, they're probably already talking about the yell.
I'm sure they are. John's a big edge guy, so we've actually had whole episodes dedicated to edge rushers and these kind of players, and this is a guy that John really likes, don't you?
Yeah. I thought what I saw from him on tape last year told me the traits are all there. He's fairly well progressed with his plan of attack, and how he really sets himself up for success. Really understands the opponent that he's playing against, and I'm excited for him this year too, Coach. So I'm glad you're saying he's going to be one of the better edge rushers. I believe you. I'm right there with you.
No, I really do, and I try to watch the country, and especially on the West Coast. And I mean, someone that does it all. That's Jayden Virgin-Morgan.
Yeah.
Well, another guy that I think we're going to see do it all, because that's what I've been promised, is Kage Casey. He was also at Media Day. I got to tell you, for an offensive lineman offensive linemen get no love. That's just what it is. They grind it out. They work really hard, but they're not the guys that really go on media tours and do all that stuff. But he was great. He's so personable, and he had great stories to tell. And I like talking to him. But he is scary big. And he told me the story about, how he developed. He was not as big as he is now. And how he got there was he started eating 18 hard-boiled eggs every morning.
How about that? I mean, yes. When Kage came to us, Kage early enrolled, and it was like during COVID. It was the similar. I think it was the same class of Ash, if I'm not mistaken. But came worked out for us, and he early enrolled, and he came to. Kage says 275. I'm going to say 260. And now he's 6'6", 315. And I mean, he walks around. I mean, every time he walks by, I kind of I gotta pretend like I'm not scared. But I'm like, golly, it's Kage. But he's worked his tail off to get there. I mean, similar to Jay. I mean, Kage, discipline. His process, and nothing's going to go against his process. He's married. He's loves the Lord. He's got a gym pass at a local gym in Boise, Idaho, where he does all the football training and more. And then at night, him and his wife go get an extra workout at night. He's a machine. And he's a great teammate. He's the guy that comes back from media days, and I'm excited to talk. And he wants to talk about, I'm thinking about supporting a nonprofit. And when I'm done playing, I want to get into to be a missionary to help, share the love of Christ to people. I'm like, wow, it's just uncommon. That's someone who's different, that cares about people and wants to use football as a platform to have an impact. So, and I mean, football wise, I think Kage could be one of the best offensive linemen we've had. And we've had a lot of really, really good ones, first rounders to 12-year all pros. And I think Kage is up there with being one of the best. And I really do believe if he has the season that we all think he should, I think he's going to be another first-round pick.
And I
was about to say that, Coach. I was about to say he looks like one of these guys that goes up there to the Senior Bowl and absolutely blows it up and goes first round. That's what I fully expect from him.
Yep, I agree. No, and that's him, because he's going to check every box: character, athletically, film. I mean, it's going to be all green lights.
You did say that he's one of the only guys that you would let watch your newborn. So
correct. And the sad part is he's probably going to be a better dad than me right away. I started Kage. You know what I mean?
Stop. Not possible.
And we're going to put a fullback package in for him too, just because Emily asked for it. We're going to make fullbacks great again.
Well, yes. A, yes. B, you had one of the greatest fullbacks that I love to watch in college football, Tyler Crow. He's gone. And so I was like, oh, there's got to be a succession plan. There has to be, a fullback succession plan after him. And I was devastated to hear that there wasn't. And I know these guys are not easy to find. I get that. They're out there, but they're hard to kind of find and cultivate. So when I said that to Kage, I was like, I'm really sad there's no fullback on the roster. He was like, oh, me, I'm going to be the fullback. I want to go in and do the fullback play. And I promised him I'd advocate. So
just get ready for a Kage Casey carry at some point.
I would put money on that because I do believe he can do anything and he really wants it. And that's the kind of guy you want in a position like that. Somebody who wants it as much as he does. And he's just a good guy. So I don't know how you keep finding kids like this, all of these great kids that you're recruiting. It's actually incredibly impressive because it's so unique. I've never met a team full of so many just good kids. So
no, we got a great group of kids. And our staff's does again. And that's what Boise State's been built on. Mm-hmm. It is not me. Long before I even got here and I remember talking with Coach Pete, and it's always, talent sets the floor, character sets the ceiling. And for us, you want to find guys with high. Everyone talks about he's got a high ceiling. High ceiling doesn't just mean the kid's 6'5", right? That's a part of it, but you'll never achieve the ceiling if you don't have high character, right? Love of the game, love your teammates. No one's going to outwork you. And that's really what we look for. So our guys, as they get to be these elite players, they also want to stay. They want to be a part of a family. They don't want to chase maybe some of the stuff that other people do. It doesn't make someone else, them better than someone else, but they want to be a part of this team, this family. And that's a huge deal to me.
Have you talked about how much money Ashton Jeanty turned down to stay at Boise last year? I would imagine it was a hefty sum.
Like people have
I think if everybody knew what Ashton Jeanty was going to do next year, probably would have even doubled, to be honest with you. But no, it was tough. But the type of Ashton, Jayden Virgin, Ahmed, Kay. I can keep going down the list of guys that, were contacted and said if they left Boise, they'd make this. But I believe that if you find the right guys and they know that they're going to be developed here better than anywhere else in the country and they're going to be loved and cared for way more than just football players, I believe you keep the right guys. No different for our staff. I think we're one of the few Division I football programs that didn't lose any coaches this offseason. Right. Mm-hmm. Our offensive coordinator stepped down, but he's still a senior analyst. Mm-hmm. And we didn't lose any other coaches. I think that shows that even the coaches want to be a part of the impact that we're about here. So
I think you're correct on that. I don't think there was another program that didn't lose a coach last year.
You should know that, John. You're the stat guy. Come on. Your job. I'm just here. Are we going to have another snowplow named after somebody, or was that just an Ashton Jeanty special?
Great question.
Thank you.
I know Sire Gaines is waiting for something. It might be like a monster truck for Sire Gaines or stuff, just to switch it up. Yeah. We got to keep it going, man. That's too fun to not have that.
All right. Well, I'm going to end. John, do you have anything else? Or I'm just going to end with a fun question. Okay.
No.
So you found out about my friendship with Joey Chestnut, and we're going to work on getting him out to Boise because I think he would really enjoy it, and vice versa. But we ask a lot of people this question. I already know Cage's answer, and actually JV gave me an answer too. What is the food that you could put down Joey Chestnut levels of? If you had to go against him, but you got to choose the food, what would it be that you could eat that much, or you could try and eat that much of?
Emily, I love food. That's a great question.
Now think about longevity, because you gotta, it's not just something that you love. It's gotta be something you could eat 10 minutes worth of at a high pace. So
10 minutes of
maybe.
Honestly, I think I can get him eating quesadillas. Mm-hmm. If you give me some ranch and salsa, I'll mix that bad boy up together. Get a little Coach D sauce going on there.
Ranch
you give
and
me
salsa mixed together.
Oh yeah. And then you give me some quesadillas. I bet me and Joey Chestnut can go toe to toe.
What quesadilla? Like cheese, or is there chicken in it? What are we talking here?
Ask Joey. I'm down either way.
Yeah. All right. Well, I will let him know.
Put the ball down. Yeah.
I'll let him know so we can start practicing. But thank you so much, Coach, for taking the time. We really appreciate it. And we look forward to everything that you guys are going to do this season. And I can't wait to come out and see, my offensive lineman play fullback. So
Let's go. Come on out to the Blue. God bless you guys. It was great getting on with you.
Thanks,
Absolute
Sven.
pleasure, Coach. Thank you. Jamie, let's go.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Sick Podcast Draft Digest on YouTube, X, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts.